Dr. Ryan here from Straight Up Spine and Posture. We're going to talk about an interesting topic in regards to a very popular exercise that we think kind of sucks and can definitely be improved with a small modification. So the exercise that we're talking about is the monster band walk. Probably almost everyone's familiar with that. You take a band of some variety, you put it across the knees, and the idea is that you walk side by side or side to side, and it uses the hip muscles or the glute medius. It kind of strengthens the hip. It's important for like the knee out component of squatting and things like that. And that all sounds good in theory, but where rubber meets the road and it comes actually executing the movement, this is actually one of the worst executed movements that we see across the board with all of our patients. I literally can't think of an exercise that's consistently performed with more cheating and substitution and things like that, which I'm not saying like people are even aware of, but coaching them is very difficult. So let me demonstrate the problem and then we'll talk about the solution. So the problem is that when you put a band around the knee or the thighs or whatever, here's what patients do. In slow motion, I'll demonstrate what they do. And this applies to general exercise as well. What we want is for these knees to be out, and so they have to spread the knees as they go side to side, and that uses the hips. But in reality, what a lot of patients do is they let their knee collapse inwards, simply scoot it over, and then press it out. And then this one collapses too. So in real time, you might not even notice the difference. It might look like this. It's hard to pick up. Versus this might look very similar to other people. But they're not at all the same thing. So one is, improving the way that you move, and the other one is kind of at a minimum not helping. So what we came up with is called a toe band walk, and this is great because you can't cheat and you really don't need any coaching at all. It does the same thing, and it's just an awesome replacement. Basically, you take a band, you hook it around the toe such that part of it is under the nail bed, so it's not buried knuckle deep, it's like on the middle of the toe, pretty much. And the other half goes on the other side. And then the name of the game is that you have to maintain tension on the band at all times. So like for instance, it can't be slack like this. There has to be tension on the band. And now, when we have patients do this, it really doesn't matter what they do with their knee. You simply cannot let this knee go inwards and generate force. I mean, you could, but it's so awkward that no one would do that. So this just automatically fixes the issue, and you still get this nice use of the glutes. You could do this really straight-legged if you really wanted to accentuate that. And then we'll generally have patients go, a couple hundred steps one way and back. And what I like about this too is that you can do toe work. So if you wanted to have them work on lifting individual components of the toes and stuff like that, you could do that. So this is a great exercise overall, I think, for improving toe health while getting good glute health without cheating. So it's just a great overall exercise to replace the standard monster band walk. Which is cool in theory, but in concept, difficult to execute. So we call that the toe band walk. If you have any questions, you can comment below in the comments section or shoot us an email and we'll get back to you, okay? We'll move on to the next exercise here shortly.